Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about pain. I want to talk about the reasons why we have chronic pain. So if chronic pain is one of your symptoms, whether it's in your back, whether it's in your pelvis, whether it's in your stomach, whether it's in your face, whether it's in your head, your migraines, your nervous system, nerve pain, whatever kind of pain you are feeling, oftentimes, metaphorically speaking, when we're looking for mind-body connections as the reason to pain, I mean, sometimes there is a physical connection to pain, like what you're eating or what you're doing, but a lot of times that's a distraction to the real issue underneath, which is usually fueled by a sense of a burden. And you feel a burden because you are the one that needs to take more responsibility than you actually want to take and desire to take in your heart. And the reason why you do take that responsibility is because you want to be seen as a good person. You hate the consequences of what's going to happen if you just let those things go. And you are a perfectionist. You need things to be a certain way. And people rely on you and you rely on yourself in order to make these things. And because nobody else is doing the things for you, you take all the responsibility on yourself to have to do it all or that it won't get done, right? You carry the responsibility for something that is maddening to you. It's infuriating to you underneath it, because why can't somebody else take some of this burden off you? Why can't somebody else share the responsibility? Why can't somebody else care as deeply about the consequences, of a situation, and therefore take this responsibility on just as you would? Why don't they care about it? And why aren't they helping you? Right? And so we have this sense of resentment. So often with deep chronic pain, there's a deep sense underneath everything of resentment for your life situation, of resentment that you aren't the one being taken care of resentment that you aren't the one having fun, of resentment that you're the one who has to always do everything. So this could, so if we're looking at concrete examples, a lot of times chronic pain will happen to people, who feel this responsibility or burden towards anything. So let's just take an adult or a mother. I think women often feel it, between the years of 20 and 60. That's a big range for chronic pain. Well, a lot of people in that world, and especially if you're a mother or a partner, feel a sense of responsibility. Maybe you grew up in a house and you feel the need to be the perfect mother, be the perfect wife, have that perfect life, that picture perfect life that you had in your mind, right? You had this thought growing up, this dream, this vision of your perfect life, and you envisioned your kids and everyone playing and getting along, and you had this amazing house and it was always clean and it was perfect, and you invited people over and you entertained and you went on vacations and you had all this fun, and you see this wonderful life. Well, as you know, life is not the way we envision it to be. And when you get there, when you get to that part of your life and you're like, wow, in order to have all these amazing dinners out on the patio, I actually have to make them and then clean it all up. And I have to tell my kids to, eat their food instead of screaming, and cut up their meat and give them ultimatums, at the table. And this isn't what it was supposed to be like in my mind. In order to have this wonderful clean house that looks perfect and is ready to entertain at the drop of a hat, I actually have to follow around behind people and clean up after them. And I spend all my day tidying or cleaning or ordering people around to pick up after themselves. And the responsibility and the burden that falls on you starts to feel overwhelming and starts to feel like you're the one who has to do it all, or your dreams fall apart, essentially, because you don't get that wonderful life that you dreamed of in your head if your house isn't perfect, picture perfect clean, and you aren't having fun as a family, and the dynamics are not what you thought, and there's all this work and laundry and cooking and cleaning and shopping and organizing, and right, it can go on and on. But your kids don't care about a messy house, so if you don't want to worry about that consequence, the feeling of that chaos in your body living in a messy house, then you're going to get up, you're going to clean the darn house, and you're going to feel this underlying sense of a burden, right? Like, oh, there's so much responsibility on me and I have to do this. And it becomes a burden to do rather than a joy. And then we have this resentment, whether it's inward. It's an inward resentment that sort of builds, like, why doesn't anyone else care? Why doesn't anyone else get up and clean? Why can't they just put things away where they belong? Okay, this is a minor example, but let's just take that to everything in our lives, and you can see how chronic pain builds up. Because if you just explode and start yelling at people, or, you're ruining your own vision of your values and what you wanted, which is a nice, happy family. And so you do the cleaning, you do the picking up, you do all the cooking, you do the things, and you put on this air of happiness. Everything's okay. This is what mothers are supposed to do, rather than allow your true feelings to rise to the surface. Because if you were to allow them to rise to the surface and get mad at everybody all the time and be screaming and everything, that would also contribute to a sense of like failure, like your life isn't what you want, and regret and guilt and deep shame, and a sense that this is also not what you want for your life, because you don't want the tension and the arguments. So you're sort of stuck. So we bury these feelings subconsciously. We bury a lot of feelings. We bury a lot of tension, and that builds so I guess what I want to say is, if you have chronic pain of any kind, there's no doubt an element of responsibility, of this burden in many different parts of your life that you carry. And you carry these burdens, and then you feel the sense of, this isn't fair that I have to carry this. It's not right that I have to carry this. You feel a loss. You feel sad. You feel grief over it. You might feel angry. And you feel like, wasn't it just easier when I could be taken care of? Why can't I be taken care of? Why can't all my needs be met? So it's this kind of resentment that your own needs aren't being met, and that you're meeting other needs that you want to meet. Yes, you want to do those things, but there's also a burden element to it, right? It's not fair that I always have to do this if I want it done. Kind of feeling to your life, this pity party feeling, this victim mentality feeling, but yet you can't not do the thing because you're also not getting what you want in life. But if you do the thing, then you do it, and you stuff down those feelings of unfairness and resentment and bitterness and just this overwhelming need to just have your needs met for you without all the effort and the work and all the responsibility falling on you, right? You long to be carefree. You long to have these things falling into your lap, your needs being met. And, you long for that picture of your life that you envisioned, where everyone's happy, everyone gets along, you're entertaining, you're going on wonderful trips, you're having people over, your, house is clean, you're cleaning, you have wonderful meals, all these things, but yeah, you don't have to do all the work that goes along with it, right? When you dream that lifestyle up, you don't imagine, it seems perfect, but we don't imagine that, 75% in order to achieve that vision in that picture, right? In your mind, in a magazine, whatever it is that you envision, which is the perfection of it. We don't see all the work that actually goes into it. And it's the work that we find resentful, because you just want the good part of that. You want the end result of it. And you didn't envision all the work and the effort and the late nights and the exhaustion that comes along from, having to get it that way, right? It just doesn't happen. It takes work. So that's the resentment and the burden that you feel, the lie. You told yourself you could have the dream, but you didn't realize the dream was all this work. And when the burden and the responsibility falls on you, in order to have the dream. It can just feel exhausting. It can feel tiresome. You can feel resentful, bitter, and you're stuffing down feelings and you don't often even know your feelings and you're hiding them inside and they build up and then they overflow. When somebody taps you, you might explode or you might cry or you might, have this headache or this major pain build up in your body because it's not a good time to express your feelings. And, this is what chronic pain is. It's a chronic lifestyle, right? Chronic pain is a chronic indication that you've got a lifestyle with responsibility that you don't necessarily want, but you feel you have to have. And like the resentment and bitterness that goes along with stuffing the fact that you don't really want all that responsibility, of it and hiding that from the world. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope that you can see that if you've got chronic pain, there's a definite mind-body link here. If you resonate with any of this, please give this a thumbs up. Please write something in the comments. Let me know that you agree that if you have chronic pain, there is a definite mind-body connection. And it often is this piece that I've discussed right here, this responsibility piece, this piece of it's not fair, right? You have this way that you have to be in order to get what you want, and it's not really fair because it's hard work, it sucks, and nobody else cares enough, and you take it all on, and it ends up just kind of being this life that you never signed up for and you never wanted. So if you agree with this, give me some sort of an indication that you do, and I can do more videos on this topic because I think it's important so that we can learn to unravel this and start to take our lives back and start to take the burdens off ourselves and create the life that we want, and understand when we take on a responsibility, we do it through our own will and not because we have to or we feel we have to, because that weighs us down. So anyways, I will do more on this, but I hope this video has been helpful, that you can just recognize and see and start to unravel this a little bit for yourself, because that's what chronic pain is.